in space, justice is a long way away.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Space Game Junkie podcast. Happy New Year, by the way. This is the first podcast. We're dating ourselves. We usually don't date ourselves, but this is a special case. The first podcast of 2024. Doing this show for 11 years now. Wow.
For those listening in the future, I hope things get better.
Please tell us they get better. Unless you found this on a USB drive in some apocalyptic wasteland, and somehow can listen to it.
Well, then it's kind of too late at that point.
It's kind of too late, yeah.
There is an argument to be had that still constitutes better, regardless. Hello.
So I'm your co-host, Brian, and joining me as always is your co-host, Spaz.
As we are working our way through the middle of the 2020 sequel trilogy.
Are we on Return of the Jedi? No, we're on Superman 3. That's where we are right now. We're on Superman 3. That's where it feels like we are right now.
I mean, it could be the Search for Spock at this point.
Yeah, no. Search for Spock was a much better movie than Superman 3. Come on.
Most things are.
Yeah.
True.
I mean,
but it's sandwiched between a lot of good stuff.
I know, but God, I feel like we're in the Superman 3 of years right now.
Yeah.
Not the Star Trek 3 of years. Like, I would take a Star Trek 3 of years at this point. That would be an upgrade.
Yeah.
We get to steal the Enterprise. So also joining us is your co-host, Julie.
I think the best way to date myself is having myself cloned.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I guess technically that works. Also joining us.
It's ethically questionable, but it would be the best way.
Well, if you've seen Multiplicity, you understand how ethically those things can really get screwed up. Oh my God. Also joining us is your co-host, Thorsten.
Cloning looks like a good option right now, at least for me. Anyways, welcome to 2020D, and I'm...
Excuse you, Thorsten?
2020D.
Yep.
2020 Delta.
2020-D. So we are the Enterprise D of years. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
With a technically best one, but
Quote unquote the fat,
slightly squished.
quote unquote the fat one, as they called it in Picard.
Okay, I was about to say
The greatest procedural generation.
But this does mean the next one will be the extremely cool and sleek looking one that I personally really like, but also that will get like no screen time.
And Worf fucked it up somehow. We don't know how, but Worf apparently fucked it up. Well, if you watch the end of Prodigy, you also know how it got fucked up. Watch Prodigy, people.
Right, so
anyway,
we're halfway through introductions, and we're already on like tangent number 3.
Tangent? What's that?
Wait, who did I? Okay, so I just introduced Thorsten, right? I think. Okay, so your co-host,
yes.
Your co-host Jacob.
Apparently getting cold right this second. Seriously?
Wow, that was amazing timing. I thought you planned that. I think he muted himself. I think he muted himself to take that call. And also your co-host David.
Currently alive.
Yeah,
I think I'm not sure anymore.
Thank goodness, right?
Yes. And yes, your co-host Jacob getting a call from Central Command at a very unfortunate time.
Oh man, you couldn't have timed that better, dude. I thought you planned that. Seriously, that's amazing. Well, friends, it is a new year, and a new year means new games. Just want to throw out a random statistic I learned today. There were 14.5 thousand games released on Steam last year. That is roughly an average of 40 per day.
And that's just on Steam.
That's just on Steam. We're not even talking about Switch or Xbox or any of those things. That's just Steam. I just want to say real quick, my heart goes out to any developer at this point, because my God, how do you deal with that? I don't even know. So we might have more games because it keeps going up. The tweet I posted showed the chart, and it just keeps going up every year. So who knows how many games will come out in 2024? Maybe 16,000.
Let's get some,
There is an upper limit to this.
some perspective. When I started as co-host, well,
Was that
let's see,
what was that 2017? Is that 2017?
Yeah.
Okay.
So 6 years now. The big number was 7,000 games released in a year on Steam.
Oh, so we've doubled that in
6 years. Well, technically 5. Yeah.
wow. Yeah. So there are a lot
big numbers.
So there are a lot of games coming out probably this year, and I wanted to talk real quick about the games we're hopefully looking forward to this year. It's hard. I had a tough time choosing. There are 3 games that I'm really, really excited about, and so I'll start. And I contacted the developers of each of them. I'm like, hey, what do you think about your game coming out this year? 2 of them said no. Just flat out no. And so I'm not going to say who they are. You can, if you know me, you know what they are. I'm not going to say who they are. But yeah, 2 of them said nope. I'm like, wow, all right.
Not happening.
Not happening. But the developer of Taxinaut said maybe. So I'm including it. I mean, it might not. That's fine. But there's a chance. There's a chance Taxinaut is going to hit 1.0 this year. And so, I mean, that's kind of what we're counting. We can count early access releases as well, as long as a game like goes to some kind of release. But yeah, Taxinaut is
podcast. We get to set the entirely arbitrary standards,
quote unquote rules. So yeah, Taxinaut is really at the top of my most anticipated list. I love this game. And it's coming along really nicely. The developer is chugging away at it. He's about to add some new stuff like multiple clones apparently and some other things. But yeah, I'm just having it's both a relaxing and stressful game if you see me play it. It's such a good game. I love it. So I would love it if this hit 1.0 this year because it would give it a visibility boost for one thing. But I've been kind of avoiding the main story, because I'm playing it kind of like an Elder Scrolls game. I'm doing all the side stuff, but I don't want to touch the main story until it's done. You know what I mean? And
wait, that game has a main story?
It does, and apparently it takes because Luke did it. You know, our buddy Luke. It took him over 100 hours to finish the story, and apparently it's pretty epic. He said. But I want to make sure the game is like in a released like 1.0 state before I even start tackling it, because who knows what the dev is going to change, if anything. So I'm just enjoying picking up fares and doing side stuff, and because it's such a big galaxy, you can just get lost in it for literal days. So yeah, so that is my top game. But the other game I'm looking forward to this year is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and I will tell you why. They are implementing a career mode in the game itself. There's going to be missions. There's going to be a career you can do. I think there are like 13 different career types, at least, and like crop dusting, mail carrying, cargo delivery, stuff like that.
Gameplay.
Yeah, actual like I grew like one of the first games I ever got for the PC was Flight Simulator. It was Sublogic back then, dating myself again, in 1986. But I played a lot of the original Flight Simulators, and I enjoyed it for a time, but then after a while, I'm like, I need something to do. I don't want to just set a flight plan and go. I need things to do. And there have been add-ons that have added such things, you know, over the years, but they've been a little clunky, and they've never gotten it quite right, you know, and so none of them have ever really clicked with me. But like turning Microsoft Flight Simulator into basically like an airborne version of Euro Truck Sim, absolutely, 100%.
Which
sign me up.
Which coincidentally is also a game you played a couple days ago.
Frontier Pilot Simulator. God, that game is hard to control. It's so stressful. I'm sorry. I was stressed the entire time I was flying. It's such a stressful game.
I mean, I remarkably enjoyed it, but I understand why you'd say that.
Oh, I enjoyed it, but I'm like, oh my God, I'm exhausted after playing this. Cause like okay, I move the controller a little bit. So yeah, it's just, but yeah, Frontier.
You get used to it.
Yeah, Frontier Pilot Simulator is kind of like that, but I would love actual Flight Simulator to do it, and it's going to do it. I just hope my now kind of ancient computer, my computer is going to be 6 years old this year. I hope my computer can run it. Maybe that'll be the reason I upgrade finally.
It is a demanding game, but also a very pretty one.
Yeah, the 20. What was the last one? 2020? Was it 2020? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I think it was 2020. That's still a beautiful game. That's still a gorgeous, gorgeous game. But I'm very excited they're actually adding a career mode to Flight Simulator. That's something it's needed for decades now. And I'm glad it's going to be actually in the game because then it won't need some kind of weird add-on that generates things. And I feel kind of bad because there's like four different groups that make career add-ons for Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I'm worried that this is going to kill them. But who knows? Maybe it won't. Maybe they'll just make their own career modes that, you don't have to touch the Microsoft one.
I mean, if anything, I feel like that might make their job easier.
Yeah, maybe they build upon the
set framework.
Yeah,
set framework and stuff.
Yeah,
for a career mode that
we
can build upon.
Yeah, we really don't know.
I was about to say it.
Yeah, we really don't know if the career mode will be extensible as much of the rest of the game is. That's a good point. I didn't even think of that. That's a good point because, why not? Maybe they can just add new careers to the existing career mode. So that would make sense. That's a great idea actually. So yeah, those are the two games. There are a lot of good games coming out this year. Oh my God, there's so many games coming out this year. But those are the two that are on the top of my personal list is Taxinaut, which is what's streaming, by the way, and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. So Spaz, what do you got?
Well, my big one, the really big one, is coming out in 3 weeks as we record this live, and that is Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. So this is also known to those who are familiar at least with the Yakuza series. This is Yakuza 8, the mainline entry. And it is a larger game than any of the previous ones, at least as far as what they've shown off.
Yeah, it's Hawaii, right? It's going to be Hawaii.
Hawaii, yeah.
And a big chunk of Hawaii. Like apparently I read somewhere the map is at least 3 times as larger as the Like a Dragon, all the Like a Dragon maps?
Yes. I've played the demo, which is included with Like a Dragon Gaiden. And yeah, it is that big. It's literally that big. And one of the things you can do in it, aside from using taxis to move around, you can use little scooters to just the entire group just gets on scooters and you move around the city. And then, because they are electric, you actually have charging ports to take them to and charge them up.
Okay, that's kind of neat.
That's neat. As
soon as I saw the trailer, I said, I'm looking forward to watching Spaz stream this.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
And I will.
Yeah,
I will absolutely stream
I'm looking forward to watching you play it. I don't think I'll play it myself this time.
Well, considering that when I played through Yakuza Like a Dragon, the previous entry in the mainline series, and it took me about 120 hours of going through and doing most of the content. Almost all of the content. Yeah. It's a big game. It's going to be even bigger. It's not surprising that you wouldn't want to stream this.
Yeah, I'll probably.
It doesn't work for how you stream.
No, and I'll probably get it just to support them because I love what they do and I love their work and their writing is wonderful and their characters are. I love Ichiban. He's one of my favorite video game characters of all time now. Like.
That's saying a lot.
Oh, and no, I mean, there are some video game characters. Okay, my favorite video game character of all time is Stephen Heck from Alpha Protocol. My favorite, he's my all-time favorite. I'd say Ichi is up there with him. And
Ichiban is a character you hated at the beginning.
You really couldn't stand him at first, and then you grow to love him because he's such a. I think my brother-in-law called him a himbo. He's like the ultimate himbo, and it's right. He's absolutely correct. He is an amazing himbo.
And he's literally my age.
Oh, is he?
As in, yeah, he's literally my age. Yeah. So, I mean, of course, I can easily relate to the guy, even though I have not been in the Yakuza, allegedly.
Yet.
But yeah,
No, the Yakuza in Japan are actually dying out as a literal thing. They are dying out because of all the crackdown laws, which is one of the reasons why they rebranded in the outside of Japan, because the Yakuza name doesn't fit anymore. The protagonists were always ex-Yakuza.
So wait, you're talking about the actual, like, in real life, the Yakuza are being grinded down because
Basically,
of these laws.
Yeah, because of laws that have made it so impossible for them to continue operating as they used to. The old ways are dying, so to speak. So the Yakuza still exist, but they don't exist as entities in the same way they used to. A lot of the old groups are basically saying, nope, we're going out of this, we're dissolving, and that's being reflected within the series itself.
That and also organized crime is dropping everywhere in general.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
That's a very good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good thing. So yeah, I didn't know that was coming out so soon. That's great. I mean, I will eventually
3 weeks from now.
I will eventually play it, like, once it's on sale and everything. I will buy it and play it, but I'm not going to stream it because it doesn't work for the way I stream. And yeah, I mean, I need to take a break whenever I want. That'll make the grinding. That'll make the grinding a lot less brutal to my psyche if I'm able to just be like, I'm going to walk away right now. But I do want to continue
and they've got new party members, as well as most of the old. Actually, all but one are returning.
Yeah, isn't Eri?
The only one who's Eri is the only reason Eri is not returning is because she was a DLC character.
Oh,
So if you didn't have the DLC, you couldn't recruit her. So it kind of makes sense that she's technically not a canon character.
Well, maybe she's
in the world, but not recruitable.
Well, maybe she's back in Japan running Ichiban Holdings, basically. Like,
Yeah, possible. I mean, it is likely that they'll keep her in the story, but just not as a party member.
I hope so. She's a great character. You know, they're all great characters. So I'm glad we're gonna see. Namba and who's the older guy? God, I can't remember his name.
Well, they're all back. They're all back.
The cop, the older cop. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Well, you have there's Namba. There is why am I blanking?
Yeah, see, I'm blanking too. Psycho, right? Psycho's the
Psycho.
Psycho, and then
Psycho.
What the hell is the older cop's name? Oh my god. He's such a great character, and I can't remember his name. It'll come to me at like 3 a.m.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm blanking. Yeah. Then again, I've been streaming all morning.
Yeah, you have been. You've been streaming Tiny Rogues, which, by the way, folks, is an amazing game. If you like twin stick shooter roguelike things at all, go get Tiny Rogues. It's so good. It's so good. Anyway, little tangent there. It's so good. So Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. Is there another one that you're looking forward to?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This one it doesn't have a release date yet, aside from we know it is coming in this spring.
Sorry.
And that is Earth Defense Force.
Oh, yes, of course. That's what I thought your first choice was going to be.
Well, the thing with EDF 6 is that we don't know. I mean, it's already out in Japan, but the English version is what's coming this spring. And it takes place after the events of EDF 5, several years after. And not really a spoiler because EDF doesn't really have much of a story per se, but the majority of Earth's population is dead at the end of EDF 5. Like 80% of the population is dead.
Yeah.
Very
So Earth is
unfortunate, but it
completely
happens.
ruined. Yeah. And there is another that doesn't have a Steam page yet, so I wasn't wanting to list it, but also because I don't know if it's coming to Steam this year.
That's fine.
And that is EDF World Brothers 2. Now, that is coming to console for sure, but I don't know if it's coming to Steam this year.
It's saying the Asian version will be released at least in this year, but it's not. That's all I can find.
Yeah, that was confirmed to come out this year, and there's usually about a year between the Japan release and the English release for these games. And World Brothers 1 was very, very popular. Surprisingly popular for an EDF game. And for a lot of people, it was their first.
I think it's
not surprising.
I think it's probably the best place to start. Honestly, I think it's such a great place to start that I'm not surprised. It is a good
place to start. Yeah, and even if you haven't played through the other EDF games, you don't really need to.
I
mean, there's some in jokes and whatnot that you might miss, but
and people love that Minecraft aesthetic. Say what you want about Minecraft, people love that aesthetic, so it works. Yeah. You know,
blocky.
Yeah, that kind of blocky, pixely, attractive,
and it totally leans into knowing what it is. There is no fourth wall.
The writing is so good. It's so good. It's amazingly good. That's a great choice. I mean, I hope EDF World Brothers 2 comes out sometime soon. I still have to get EDF 1 on the World Brothers on the Switch. Just hasn't gotten cheap enough yet, but I plan to buy it on the Switch at some point just to support it, you know.
Because it's really good.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Is that all of them, Spaz?
Yeah, just a side note before I move on, though. Custom Mech Wars, which came out back in just a few weeks ago by D3 Publisher, it's using some of the same stuff that made EDF great.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the people initially didn't like it because of its mouse control was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the keybinds
were company included.
Right. But those have been fixed, and it has gone up in its reviews from mostly negative, which it was within the first few days. It's now mixed. It's gotten better. I play with a gamepad. I love the game. It really is fun. So if you like EDF, give Custom Mech Wars a try, because the customization is beyond silly. But that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Well, I'll gladly look into it. Then,
I will definitely. Yeah, exactly.
I can control things.
My interest has been rekindled.
Yeah, it's multiplayer too.
That's good.
So
That's good.
That is an option.
Yeah, because I probably would have played it with a mouse and keyboard. So when I first heard about that, I was like, oh,
it's better with a gamepad.
Oh,
absolutely.
Even fixed, it's better with a gamepad.
Yeah.
Is there an auto aim that helps? Is that part of it?
It's not. There are weapons that auto aim. Missiles will auto aim.
Right.
Everything else is manual. So you have three types of weapons. You got manual that you just fire with the right trigger. Oh, sorry, with the left trigger. You've got auto aim that you fire with right trigger, and then you have auto weapons that will just auto fire. They just auto fire at whatever is in range.
Oh, okay.
And they can help out with some things, like if there's an enemy behind you, they'll just flip right through you and fire behind you. That's just how they work.
Awesome.
You can build some really, really silly things.
Well, like Jacob said, my interest is rekindled. So I'll definitely keep an eye on that for a sale.
Yeah, wait for a sale, but definitely grab it this year.
Okay.
I think you'll have a fun time with it.
All right. Well, those are excellent choices. I forgot about Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. For some reason, I thought that was already out. But I
Like a
honestly.
Dragon Gaiden came out, and that might be why you.
Oh
thought.
God, that's the short one, right? That kind of takes place parallel to Like a Dragon.
It takes place between the events of 6, 7, and 8, and
Right.
leading up to 8.
Right. Okay. So that's probably what confused me. Good on these guys for pounding out these games, though. My God, and apparently they're all good. So good on them. That's very impressive. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Moving on, Julie. Do you have any games you're looking forward to this year?
Yes, 2.5.
2.5.
And,
all right.
2.5. I will say, here's my first choice. You see, the problem is
Star Wars Outlaws.
And I will say Star Wars Outlaws. Now, I will preface all this by saying usually when I see somebody, like a friend of mine has been burned so much by hype, is saying, if somebody says, come out next year, I said, talk to me next year. But in researching games for this show, I came upon this. Now, I found out that the main character is a woman named Kay Vess. My first thought was somebody must have blackmailed their executive producer at Ubisoft to make this happen. Because they've had female characters before, but never one where you had to start as a female character. That said, also, what I liked about the idea of this is that it's not like, well, you had said yourself once, Brian, that, everybody thinks in the Star Wars universe they'd be, a Jedi. And we've had a brief conversation in passing once, and I said, well, in this Star Trek universe, I know what I'd be doing. The same thing I did in the military or what I'm doing now. And this is about an outlaw. It's not about some big hero that's going to save the universe by destroying the Death Star. And that's why I was looking forward to this. And the other one is something I know about, I was reminded about because I watched you play it, and I'm waiting for it to come out on Steam, which is my download of choice, and that is Star Trek Resurgence. It's not coming
yes.
out. I linked it. And when I first started to play Telltale Games, and I don't know why it won't come up. I put a link in there, but it won't come up.
I see it.
Yeah. Anyway,
The link's there, even though the embed doesn't work.
Okay. So the deal is this: when I first started playing Telltale Games, they said, "Oh, come on, I can just turn on the television." But then one day I picked up a Batman Telltale game, and I played through it, and I found out that my choices mattered because in the beginning of the story is you're given a choice to shake somebody's hand who's just an absolute criminal, and you can either shake his hand or you can refuse to. I said, I don't shake hands with criminals. I didn't shake a hand with a criminal, and then I found out later in the game, there was actually somebody from the media outside the window, and it changed the game entirely if you shook somebody's hand. And so I said, well, the choices really do matter. And when I watched you play through this, well, it's like you said, it's like a whole series of a particular, Star Trek series. And when we live in an era when somebody who is supposed to be sort of the home for a Star Trek will say, oh, let's just write this off, despite the fact that it has so many fans. We need a tax write-off, and I say, you bastards. And so, it's Star Trek Prodigy, obviously what I'm talking about. So thank you, Netflix, for saving it. So, that was one of my favorite Star Trek series, especially when Kate Mulgrew came back in it. And so I'm like, well, now I can still watch the series and play the game, which is, yes, on Switch. And my last one was sort of my half choice. And it's so odd that I said, I was preparing for the show, watching this, and I came upon this, and I said, it's so odd, I want to try it. And that's Pal World. And it's been described as Pokemon with guns. And I said, that's really kind of odd. And in playing Final Fantasy 14, because my sister and we have a regular static group with 4 people that we play with on Sundays. And we used to be big World of Warcraft fans, but we kind of quit. and my sister
Look at
regrets
that.
not having a hunter class. And there in Final Fantasy 14, there's nobody that can really fight for you. And so I saw this and I said, wow, this is like Pokemon with hunter class. And it's so odd that I said, I got to try it, long as it's not, too much. Mass battles with Pokemon. And I watched the trailer, and some of these are so close to what the Nintendo Corporation already has. I'm absolutely certain there's going to be
Oh
a
no.
lawsuit.
Oh no.
Absolutely certain there's going to be a lawsuit. So
That is not pleasant. That does not sound fun in the slightest.
Oh,
my
look at this.
and I like to prepare for these shows, and that's how I found out about this, and that's also coming out this year. So, but my first choice, of course, is, despite the fact that every time I play an Ubisoft game, I feel so dirty, but I really wanted to play Black Flag, and I've been playing it on Switch and enjoying it. So my choices in order is the Star Wars game, the Star Trek game, and this one kind of as like a little lark when I got the money.
Yeah, this Pal World looks pretty fun. It's very ambitious. It not only has, the Pokemon type stuff, but you can build structures and have kind of like, looks like Factorio style production and farming and whatnot.
Well, yeah, there's this scene in one of the Indiana Jones movies, and I've heard that it was just put in by accident because Harrison Ford was sick that day, and I've heard some that was planned. But there's this scene with this guy. He's this huge guy, and he's got this sword, and he starts twirling it over his head, and Harrison Ford just takes out his gun and shoots him. And when I saw this trailer, that's the first thing I thought about. And he said this could be either really bad or really fun. So looking forward to it.
He was in fact sick that day, and it was supposed to be a fight. But instead of being a fight, it ended up being that, and it was a lot funnier for it.
It was much funnier than I think a fight would have been. Yeah.
Well, I thought about somebody pulling out their Mewtwo, and then I just take out a rocket-propelled grenade and end their Mewtwo. And
Well, this looks fun. I hope they pull it off. Well, it's
May I jump in here real quick?
Yeah.
Julie, have you looked into those developers' earlier game called Craftopia?
Oh.
They have made another crafty survival game before. It's still in early access, by the way.
I haven't heard about it.
Wait,
Is somebody got a link?
I can link it.
Shit. Sorry. I found the page, and then it started playing the video. Should turn that off. Okay. Yeah. So wait, this game is still in early access, and yet they're releasing another game. Maybe they have multiple teams.
There are some comments about that, so
yeah, maybe they have
I don't know what's
multiple.
up with that.
That's not a great look. Pocket Pair.
Little suspect.
Not a great look. I mean, the other game looks good, but this one also looks good and kind of similar.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was just my third choice, and it was just so odd. I thought, I really want to try this, but you never know when someone says, yeah, this is coming out this year. Yeah, this is coming out this year. And then, as happened with a couple of games I bought this year, they'll say, oh, yeah, sure, it's coming out this year. Okay, we got to wait for another 2 more months. But I'd rather have somebody wait and really polish the game than produce some half-baked piece of garbage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%. 100%. So yeah, hopefully that's good. Pal World. It looked fun. So hopefully it turns out well. All right. So Thorsten, you are next. What do you got?
Honestly, too many. Honestly, too many.
Can you limit it to 3?
Welcome to my world of obscure games. And I start with a non-space game. At least it's a science fiction game. And that's Wild Bastards.
Wild Bastards.
which is a spiritual successor to Void Bastards.
Oh, right.
Which has become over the years my most favorite first-person shooter, to be honest. And I love it. And I really hope that White Bastards holds the same standard as White Bastards. Okay, that would be my first pick. My second pick is Worlds of the Future, which looks pretty interesting.
Hey, what is it? Worlds of the Future?
Worlds of the Future, give me a moment.
Okay. I don't know if I've heard of this one. Which is not surprising. There are just so many games coming out that...
there are so many games out there.
Yeah, there's I don't want to say there are too many. That's not the right way to look at this.
It looks really interesting to me.
Oh, look at this.
You could say there are an impressive number.
Yes.
Because
yeah. An almost overwhelming number. Look at this.
Yeah, it's totally overwhelming number to be honest right now. I mean, we've talked about the number of the games that are published every day, and I mean, it looks interesting. I hope that it's gonna.
Wow. Well, that's a. I don't remember ever hearing about this one. That's a good find.
Nice find.
I found it here. Somebody linked it here.
Oh, then I must have forgotten about it.
On our server.
I must have forgotten about it. Usually when someone links something like this, I wish list and follow it, but for some reason I must have missed it. I wonder if it was linked like while I was on a cruise or something and I just didn't get to it.
Yeah, that looks quite swanky.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks great.
And my last pick would be Course Correction. Which is another
this one
game.
Look at that.
I really hope all three games won't be busted. I mean, I've got a longer list. I've got a much longer list, but I mean, all right,
hit me with one more. You got. If you got a really long list, let's do one more. If you have a lot, let's just do one more.
Okay, that would be Space Mining Company.
Space Mining Company. Oh yeah, that one.
Wait a moment.
I got it.
That was the wrong link.
I got it. Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. That's another one that looks interesting.
Oh, that Again, does look fun.
They are all small devs, parts, single devs. You don't know if it will come. If they say that the games will come out this year, or if they will come out next year, or if they come out at all.
Yeah.
Yes, it's always a problem.
Yeah. Well, we can hope. We can hope.
Hey, as soon as I saw this, I said, "Wow, mining without somebody trying to gank me, I'm in."
Yeah. Yeah.
Good and bad biffing, huh?
Yeah, this looks. Oh wait, it's got in-app purchases. Ooh. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Interesting. It's not always bad.
It's not always bad. It's not always bad.
It's a thing that could be a problem.
If it's just like cosmetic stuff, maybe that's okay. But I don't know. I don't know. But hopefully it'll be good. Hopefully. All right, Jacob, you are up next. What do you have for us, sir?
Well, so I have politely remembered that we're nearly 40 minutes into a Space Game Junkie podcast, so we're not mentioning the fact that Homeworld 3 is coming out this March.
Oh, right.
Oh, is it? I was wondering about that. Is it going to?
Now, I will concede, I am very cautiously optimistic because it does have Randy Pitchford's name on it, the CEO of Gearbox, for those unaware, and Randy Pitchford is it's a whole thing. But from what I have seen of the game in the previews so far, it is looking absolutely brilliant.
I hope so. It has a lot to live up to, and they probably know that. You know,
Yes.
they probably know that.
I feel like it's gonna still be better than Homeworld 2, in my opinion. But that's because Homeworld 2 was kind of a downgrade. It's probably not gonna be better than Cataclysm 1.
Well, it's been good for threes lately. Baldur's Gate 3, Jagged Alliance 3. It's been good for threes lately. So
maybe it won't be like the trilogy curse will continue, but won't affect this one because 2 was somewhat mediocre. But yes, Homeworld 3 is happening. It even has a roguelike co-op mode, which sounds extremely fun.
Oh.
Yep, that's War Games.
Oh.
Yeah, it's what's called War Games mode, where you essentially, basically, each player gets one, Higara and Carrier, if you remember what those are, well, how those work. So you get, the smaller production capital ship, and each player gets to specialize in their own little sub-thing and complete objectives along the way and blow up raiders and all sorts of fun stuff. Besides that, there is the obvious one. The other game I'm really looking forward to, hopefully this year, is in fact Stalker 2. I don't think that game needs much introduction.
Oh yes,
right. Of course,
it was supposed to come out last December, but admittedly they have a good excuse for any delay. Namely, they're still getting bombed by Russians. So here it's a double wish. The first wish is that Stalker 2 finally comes out, and the second wish is that they stop getting bombed by Russians. You know, just my. I
think that's one of our big collective hopes for 2024, looking outside of video gaming, is that the Ukrainians stop being bombed by Russians.
Yes,
would be nice.
It would be great. Would be great.
Would be fun. Besides that, I have a whole bunch of smaller.
Let's up with a couple.
Okay, so I'll link to one slightly less obscure and one slightly more obscure one. There's this delightful title I'm following about called Brew Barons, which sounds very interesting.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
kind of like Crimson Skies ish thing. Yes.
Putting it simply, you run a combination brewery and interwar biplane mercenary unit of one person.
Yes. I think I backed the Kickstarter for this one. Honestly, I think I did,
which as a moderate fan of planes and boats in a game where you fly a boat plane, I'm very excited for it.
Yes.
It does have a demo still out on Steam. You could just take it. Play the demo. It's janky, but it is a demo and a demo of a fairly early beta. It is allegedly coming out again in the first quarter of this year.
Yeah,
I have been somewhat following the releases, and things have been going steadily moving forward.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one too. Yeah, I'm very excited about this one actually. Then
my personal obscure choice, which is a sequel to the Dominion series.
Yes.
Which, judging by Brian's laugh, I think you've stumbled upon it at least once. And knowing you and most people on this planet, you bounced off of it so hard you could be heard from space.
I the first one I got was 3, and I got it with a physical manual. That's one of the reasons I got it, because the manual was utterly gorgeous. And I read the manual, because it's a great manual. And then I tried, emphasis on tried, to play the game, and failed.
Oh my God, did he try?
Failed utterly. And then
Don't worry, I do not blame you. It is very complex, but it is immensely fun. It's essentially a fantasy forex strategy with a monumental variety of factions, species, tactics, magics, and other nonsense. Which all combine together to form probably my favorite grand strategy ever. but also the one I'm objectively the worst at. So, it's 50-50.
Yeah, I've watched people play it, and it looks astounding. And then I try and play it myself. I'm like, my brain hurts. So
Yes.
It's the Shadow Empire. It's the Shadow Empire of fantasy games.
Kinda, sorta. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Both? Yes.
Fair.
That's
Having
a
played
good-
both? Absolutely.
That's a really good way
No
to
argument
put
there.
it. Yeah, that's a really good way to put it.
Yes, there is, of course, a bunch of other stuff. I am going to quickly mention a trio of games that I want to mention because there's 3 RTS revival games coming out. That's the best way I could describe it.
Oh,
One is
yeah.
called Dustfront. The other is called Dwarf,
Dwarf. I'm very excited about Dwarf. I have heard of Dwarf. Yeah.
as well as a game called Menace from the Battle Brothers creators, which all of them seem to be, well, exactly what I said. Essentially, a revival project for Command and Conquer era 2.5D styled real time strategies. Which, I mean, I'm not complaining.
No, I'm also excited about Dustfront. Yeah, got that on my wish list. Yeah, I'm excited about all 3 of those.
Yes.
Actually.
Now, of course, there's more, but I think we still have one more person to cover.
We do. Thank you, Jacob.
We do?
So let's go and do that because I have there's some variety.
Yeah, we have a lot of variety on these lists. This is really great. All right, Jacob, let's finish it up. I mean, David. Sorry, David. Let's finish it up. Sorry.
Just give me a moment.
Okay.
Waiting.
Okay.
All right. So this is a little bit sad because I think that I talked about this game during spring last year or something like that,
Mhm.
and it got delayed. And that's going to be
Oh.
R-Type Tactics went to Cosmos.
Oh, I remember you talking
Still
about
waiting.
this one. Yeah, I remember you talking about this one.
Yeah, they were very slow on updates on the Kickstarter, so I understood that. Yeah, they're probably gonna delay it. And then I think in October or something like that, they finally came out with a news that we're not gonna make it to 2023.
Oh,
It's fine. It's fine. Take your time, developers. But I'm looking forward to this one, and hoping it will not kick my butt as much last time. Oh,
it's an R-Type
man.
game. Of course it will. it's R-Type. That's what R-Type does, is kick your butt.
That's a turn-based strategy game this time around, so there's that.
Oh, that's true.
R-Type turn-based strategy. That might work.
Okay, maybe I should scroll back time then for you, Jacob. So basically doing...
No, I know what R-Type is. Don't worry.
But yeah, I'd never heard of these, but they're remakes apparently, and they're turn-based, and they came out a while ago. The originals.
Yeah.
But I had only heard of them recently, after David started talking about them. But they look great. I mean, turn-based turn-based shmup. It's been done. I mean, this one, and there was one on the PC a few years ago. Next jump, next turn, something like that.
Yeah, you had the name right. Next Jump Shmup Tactics.
Yeah, Next Jump. Yeah, that's a turn-based shmup. It's also excellent, by the way, if you're interested in that one. But
there was the Lost Federation, technically, because that's also turn-based.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a callback.
Yeah, I always forget about. I always forget about Last Federation. I feel bad.
It's a game that sort of comes back and forth purely because of how unique it is.
It's a game.
It's just so staggeringly unique, but also it's at this point, 10 years old.
Yeah, I think that game, I might have to give it another try because maybe I wasn't ready for it when it came out. Maybe I
I
wasn't.
think same here. I don't think I was ready for it 10 years ago.
But maybe now I'd be ready for it.
Not making promises. It might still be difficult.
Yeah, maybe.
It is a difficult game.
It is a difficult
It is
game.
a difficult game. It is a literally turn-based bullet hell. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. I always forget about that one. I feel bad because they made so many good games, those guys. And that's like the one I always forget about.
Yeah, leave it to me to remember.
Yeah, no, good job. David, what else you got?
I got my second pick here is something that I have talked about before as well, funny enough, but that's going to be Intravenous 2. That's
yes,
coming up probably this year. It is at least showing it's going to be 2024 this time.
yes.
Not any more coming soon.
The first game,
I still had to finish the first one.
I've neither. I'm terrible at it. I'm so bad at it, but it's amazing. It's an amazing game that, like so many games, I can tell that it's great, even though I am bad at it. But the first game is great. So
and I think it was pretty funny that the developer came out and said that, I had no idea people were any interested in the story I was writing for Intravenous 1. So apparently you liked it. So there will be more story. So thank you, developer.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. Yeah, the first one was great. What little I played of it before I kept dying over and over and over and over.
What? Dying in Intravenous? What? That's clearly never happened.
I should give it another shot because it's good. It's so good. I don't have. I need more patience. I need more patience.
Well, it did add in those multiple difficulty options that you can modify different. Like
that's good.
How much damage will it does and stuff. So
I think when I tried to play it, it didn't have any difficulty options. It was just you just go, just have fun. I'm like
Yeah, just a fun fact about Intravenous 1. There's an achievement you can earn in that game. Well, you can't earn it if you're using those custom difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
If you complete the game on the highest difficulty, you get an achievement called CBT. So, yeah, those who knows what that is.
Charming.
Dear God.
Yeah, cognitive behavioral therapy, the thing you need afterwards.
Yeah, exactly.
That is definitely what that means.
Oh,
So yeah, it's a hard game. Oh God,
I'll have to give it another try because I love the style of it, but yeah, I need more patience with it.
Yeah, me too. And my third pick, we don't have a date for it yet, but that's gonna be Core Decay, because I'm always looking for more immersive sims.
Core Decay. Do I know this one? Oh.
Whoa, I never heard of this one. That looks interesting.
It's already on my wish list. So I must have heard of it already. Oh,
it has been on there.
Look at that.
It has been on to be announced for like forever. So I'm sitting here like, maybe this year. Come on, please.
No, that's
so
that looks fun. That looks beautiful. Actually, looks like a really fun boomer shooter. That's what they call these now, boomer shooters, right?
Because it's in that old style. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in that old style.
I
love that old style, so it works.
Oh, it's not a pejorative.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, there's so many of them coming out now. I cannot complain. You know, there's so many of these boomer shooters coming out, and they're all so far. Most of them been pretty good.
Heck yeah.
Some of them have been really weird. Like, what was that one that's really weird? H-Rot? Oh my God, that game is wackadoo.
I really hope that Core Decay doesn't get under the foot, because it's 3D Realms and Slipgate.
Yep, I see that too.
So those are the companies that laid off today a lot of people.
Oh.
The very same news.
Oh, yeah. In one of the tweets, they said that the lead of Core Decay was laid off. The lead guy.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
In the last year, there have been around, just for historical reference, in case anyone's listening to this later, there was around 6,000 layoffs across the industry over the last year.
Yeah, here's one of the tweets from Scott Miller. Further info reveals that two projects, Core Decay and Combustion, are now quote-unquote on hold, which is usually code for quote-unquote permanently ended. The lead dev for Core Decay, for example, was cut.
Ah, dang it.
I'm sorry.
Early.
I mean, it's good to set your expectations as early as possible. So I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I hope maybe if the lead dev finds himself somewhere else, he'll be able to continue working on it somehow. I don't know, but who knows? Maybe Apogee can pick them up.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry to rain your parade there a little bit, but I'm like, wait, why do I know that name? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's poor timing. That wasn't intentional. I know. I'm sorry, David, but that's like, yeah, folks. Today we got news that where is it? A bunch of more devs were laid off from 3D Realms and Slipgate, who recently had another round of layoffs a few weeks ago, I think. Like not too long ago, they had another round of layoffs. So yeah, it's been a rough year for game devs. Really rough year, and may they all find their feet. May they all find their way. But yeah, 2023, that was a rough year. Hopefully 2024 will not continue this trend. But here we are on the third day of 2024, and we're already getting more layoffs. So, fuck. Excuse my language, but fuck. So that's a great list, everybody, though. That is a great list. We have a lot of varied things here, from turn-based shmups to first-person shooters to open-world Star Wars games to taxi games. We got a little bit of everything here.
For variety's sake.
There's a lot to look forward to.
There
honestly.
is. It is an amazing time to be a gamer. I really feel like we're in another golden age of video games, and it's not the best time to be a dev. My heart goes out to all the devs out there, but as a gamer, terrific time to be a fan of video games. My God, we are eating well, right? We have been eating well for years. Like,
unlike the game devs, sadly.
yeah, like, but as gamers, it's been a freaking feast, and that can't continue. I mean, eventually the buffet is going to run out of food. But until then, we're going to, huh?
Can I add one thing real quick?
Absolutely.
Anything that comes out on Switch 2.
Now, has Switch 2 been confirmed?
The company denied it, but a couple of weeks ago, people who are working on games for it kind of slipped up a little bit.
Oh,
and
no.
said, we're working on new hardware for Nintendo. So they're coming out with some kind of new console. I'm hoping it's Switch 2.
It's the 3D Switch. 3D Switch XL. 3D Switch XL.
The joke we talked about before the show was that it's the Switch 4D, which you play tomorrow.
Oh, God damn it. God damn it. No 4DS.
Yeah, the 4DS. That was it. The 4DS, which you can play tomorrow or yesterday.
Just don't worry if Temporal Investigations comes to visit. They just want to play they just want to do co-op. Don't worry about it.
Oh no.
Oh, I would love.
Play it with you play it by inserting Schrodinger's cartridge. There may or may not be a game in there.
I mean, I'm quite happy with my Switch, but I would love a Switch too. You know, I mean, the Switch OLED is quite a lovely little machine. So as long as you can play all your Switch games on the Switch too, I think that's a bonus. And Nintendo's not bad at backwards compatibility. They're not great, but they're better
than some others.
Better than others. Yeah.
I've been saving up my gift certificates for the last 2 Christmases for this.
So for the Switch too.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah. What would be ideal is if you just take out the SD card from the Switch, slip it into the Switch 2. That would be wonderful if you could do that. Yeah. Anyway, so that's a really great list, you guys. There are a lot of games to look forward to this year, and hopefully it's a better year for developers as well. Hopefully. Let us. So yeah, we should wrap up. We're not 100% on our topic yet for next week, y'all, because we're still workshopping it, but we're gonna have something. And hopefully tomorrow we'll be playing, what was that, Arms Race game? Arms Race? Is that what it's called? Arms Race 2 will hopefully be tomorrow, if I have the energy. So yeah, good list, everyone. Oh my God. Hopefully 2024 will be better for all of us and all of you than 2023 was. I mean, it's only 3 days in, but hopefully it's been a good year for you all so far. And hopefully, God, I would love the pandemic to turn into an endemic this year. I know it's not going to happen, but I would love it. But it's not going to happen, but I would love it. So until that happens, wear your masks and get your shots. God damn it. I'll just keep saying that. Wear your mask.
Even afterward, wear your mask. It's a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, there's
illnesses still happen regardless of whether or not.
Yeah, there's a reason that other cultures wear masks. They were wearing masks regularly before the pandemic. There's a reason for that, especially when you're in like a lot of cramped, closed-in cities. You know, wearing masks are a good idea. Masks work. I went to an IKEA yesterday and I forgot my mask and I felt so dirty. I was like, oh God, I don't want to be here. Hopefully nothing comes of it. But yeah, wear your mask when you can. Get your shots. Please get all the shots. We're still in a pandemic. I had someone try to tell me on Facebook that the pandemic is over the other day. It's not. It's not over. We're still, the emergency part of the pandemic is over. Yes, because apparently not as many people are dying. Well, at least they're not recording as many deaths. But
there was a huge surge just about a month and a half ago, or less than that.
Yeah, there's a new variant right now that apparently is the most resistant strain so far, and more people are getting it again. So you don't want multiple COVID, y'all. We still don't know what long COVID does. It can really mess you up, but we still don't know the full effects, the full weight of how bad long COVID is going to be. So you want to avoid getting this as much as you can. I still know a few people who haven't gotten it once, which shocks me. I mean, good for them.
I haven't. I still haven't.
I know why you haven't.
I'm in isolation for the rest of my life. So
yeah, that's why you haven't gotten it. So yeah, we still know some people, but their numbers are getting fewer and fewer all the time. I've had it once. My wife has had it twice. You know, most people I know have had it twice at this point. Some people 3 times. You know? And I've read stories of some people getting it 5 or 6 times. You don't know what that's going to do to you, friends. So wear your mask, get your shots. It's 2024. I can't believe I have to keep saying this, but until this becomes an endemic, I'm going to keep saying it. And I would love it if 2024 was that year. It's not going to be, I know, but I would love it if it was. I'd be very pleasantly surprised if 2024 was that year. So friends,
we can hope.
We can hope. We can hope. But I don't want to get my hopes up too much just to have them be crushed later. So friends, thank you so much for hanging out. It's always a joy to see you in the chat. Thank you for listening, everybody. We're looking forward to a great 2024 with all of you and many more years to come, and at least until the floods come and kill us all. Sorry.
Or at least the Positive Game Junkie podcast.
Or at least me, since I'm near the coast. Or at least me. Yeah, the Positive Game Junkie podcast. It's hard to be positive these days, you guys. It's hard to be positive. But yeah, take care of yourselves, everyone. Take care of each other. That's the only way we're going to get through this is if we take care of ourselves and those around us to the best that we can, not only physically, but mentally. Be there for each other. Get your shots. Like I said, wear masks. Thank you as always to our patrons who literally pay for the lights around here. And thank you so much for listening. We will see you next time. Have a great week.